Top of the page, you thinking you gon' solve it. I feel like hard, I'm back up in the rocket. See the red light. No, what's popping? What's popping? It's NTOS Media back at it again for another video. This time it's your boy Henny D Gastino, joined by my boy MTV Lion right here.
Hey man, what's popping with everyone, man?
Yeah, so as you know, a couple 1058 leaks have been already leaked out via Reddit, Twitter, everything. So this video we're just gonna be talking about what we think of the leaks, making predictions, what we think was gonna happen in the chapter itself from anything that's been confirmed. We're also gonna be making our own bounty predictions and these predictions what's gonna happen now post Wano now Wano is ended. So yeah, let's get into it.
Alright man, let me pull the spoilers up real quick that I got.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah, the new chapter title is called New Emperor, which is pretty interesting. I really fuck with that. Cover, Caesar's asking Germa to go with them. So, you know, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, so far I haven't really cared that much about the whole Germa backstory and cover story, but honestly, I feel like this is a good way to use Caesar's character. I mean, they're both Caesar and Judge are both scientists. I mean, this might lead into something to do with Vegapunk in the future. I'm not sure yet, but they're obviously see a use in him, so it's probably going to lead somewhere, and that's going to be useful in the end of series.
Yeah, it's definitely something I could see something big happening in the future. So, you know, let's get into the juicy stuff, man. Let's get into the bounties, man. To be honest, Zoro's bounty, bro, how do you feel about it? 1.101 billion berries, man. How you feeling with that?
Okay, my initial prediction for Zoro's bounty was like, what's King bounties? So 1.5 million. So I never actually thought it would be higher than King's, just going off of the trend of like how Luffy, Kid, and Law's bounties were after they defeated the Yonko. So like, for the way I see, like, yes, bounty is threat, and yes, you could say Zoro's more of a threat than King right now. But at the end of the day, from the way I see it, he's not. Zoro's he hasn't done anything that's threatening by himself to the world government the way King and Queen are. King is a Lunarian. He's wanted by the world government the same way they want someone like Robin. Queen is a former scientist that was working with Vegapunk and Judge and all of them. He's also literally a master of like using plagues and disease and shit like that. He's clearly more of a immediate threat to civilians and the world than Zoro is. Zoro's just a fighter. He does whatever Luffy orders him to do. By himself, though, he won't be seen as much of a threat. And bounty, as we know, yes, strength does has something to do with it, but it's mostly just how threatening you are to the world government and the world at large. So I never expected it to be higher. I did, though, expect it to be at least like 1.2, 1.3 billion. But 1.1 billion, I honestly don't see a problem with it. It's obviously going to keep rising from now on. Now, my issue is what we like. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but the bounty we saw of Jinbei's. I feel like, yes, he's a warlord, and warlords, we know how influential they were prior to the abolishment of the warlords, but still, I don't see how he stays close to someone like Zoro and Sanji. Because at least the other warlords, they were doing things that, yes, you can see where their influence is spreading, how threatening and dangerous they are to the world government. Jinbei really wasn't doing none of that. Yes, he was part of, he was an ally to Whitebeard. He then joined Big Mom's crew, but like, honestly, I expected it to be like at around 900 million, but I don't like how, and I don't even like how he's above Sanji, and I'm not even a Sanji stan like that. I don't even like Sanji like that, but he should not be above Sanji in my opinion. Because we're talking about threatening, like, Sanji is still a Vinsmoke at the end of the day, and I think that's more influential than anything Jinbei has done. So that's just my opinion on those bounties. You got anything to add to that?
I mean, you pretty much just summed up everything, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they base Jinbei's bounty off of, because I'm really confused as to, like, you know, what they base it off of. To be honest, like you said, I don't really fuck with Sanji either. He's a cool character, but, like, I don't know. He's not really my top, you know what I'm saying? My favorite character. So
Yeah.
he definitely deserves that spot, you know, where Jinbei is. I feel like that. Just also because he's a Vinsmoke, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why his bounty was initially just higher to begin with, just because of his, you know, his name, because of his threat. But and Jinbei, this nigga fought who's who, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, I don't know, bro, but honestly, I have no idea. But like, you pretty much summed up everything. Chopper, Yeah, these niggas doing Chopper dirty. I ain't gonna lie. The next bounty this nigga's gonna have is probably gonna be 10,000. These niggas just adding a zero each time.
Wait, what was the leak? What was the his bounty leaked as? I
He's
haven't
a.
seen that one yet.
Are you not viewing my screen? It's 1,000 berries.
I have. I just haven't checked it out yet. 1,000. Oh man, I can't lie. I seen some unconfirmed leaks that put him at like 400 million. I would not have been happy with that because I'm like, what did this guy actually do to deserve a bounty that high? So I'm happy. They're just going on. They're just keep on like Oda keeps on going with this gag of Chopper's bounty. Like at the end of the series, if his bounty is literally like 10 million, I'll still be happy. That actually still make me laugh. Like
No, yeah,
he's
that's
clearly
funny
more
as
dangerous
fuck.
than most of the pirates in the world, but he has a bounty of 10 million. Like that's actually hilarious to me. I don't think
Yeah,
Oda's ever going to let that go.
yeah, like you said last night too. Like this nigga, bro, he was like, yeah, he did some shit, but at the end of the day, he needed Marco to help him and shit. He always needs other doctors helping him and shit. Like, you know what I'm
Like
saying?
Chopper for me really hasn't done anything to warrant like putting him any higher. Like yes, he cured all the people that were infected by Queen's plague. By the end of the day, he needed Marco's help with that, and still like that's not really threatening anything. He's a doctor, but he's a doctor that's not a threat to the world government in the way people like uh Caesar, Law, or Marco would be like scientists and doctors like that that are actually kind of threatening. Like Chopper's just there. He hasn't really shown anything where the world government be like, yeah, let me give this guy that high of a bounty. So I'm good with where he's at.
Yeah, no cap. He's really just the pet of the Straw Hats.
Yeah. What was the other bounties we saw?
So let's get into the other bounties. Hey man, this some real juicy shit. You know what I'm saying? Mihawk,
Yeah.
this nigga Mihawk has a bounty of 3.5 billion berries. You want to be specific? It's 3.590 billion berries. But you know, I like that. I like that bounty. The bounty predictions I did have. I'm gonna pull them up real quick. These are the bounty predictions I did have. I had Zoro at 1.1, Sanji's at 1.079 billion. Jimby's I said like around 1.04, which I was off. Mihawk's I put it at 3.5, so you know, I'm pretty accurate on that. You know what I'm saying? But Mihawk is
Me,
no, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, I
No,
was
go
gonna say
ahead.
me. I've always had Mihawk as like okay for me. What I think about like Yonko level characters, I think to be like a baseline Yonko level characters need like a 2.2 billion a bounty and up. I think that's why Blackbeard's bounty was 2.2 billion when he like because he was just coming up as a Yonko and he had done like that much shit yet. So I think that's the baseline when the world government sees you as a Yonko level threat. And me, I've always considered Mihawk an equal to Shanks in every way. They're bona fide equals. So I always just thought like, yeah, his bounty to me wouldn't be as high as Shanks's, but it'd still be higher than someone like Blackbeard who just popped in the scene, who hasn't been here for decades like Mihawk has. Remember, Mihawk was already famous back when Roger was still alive. Mihawk, like Shanks, literally became more famous just off of fighting Mihawk. So I always thought that yeah, his bounty has to be high, but not higher than any of the established Yonkos like Shanks, Big Mom, and Kaido. So I've always put him at around 3.2 to 3.7 billion, somewhere around that benchmark. So I'm happy where he is at 3.5. And this, honestly, like this can shut up all the Mihawk haters have been talking for a minute now. His bounty, like I heard people saying his bounty was going to be 1 billion, no higher than 1 billion. Like literally, legit people were trying to talk that. I'm like, that's so stupid. Like you think this guy's a lower bounty than King and Queen? Impossible. Like he's the world's strongest swordsman. Time people finally started to put like respect on his name. So yeah, that's how I feel about Mihawks. Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you pretty much summed it up again. You know what I'm saying? Like you really need to put respect on Mihawk, but like I feel like just niggas weren't putting respect on him because niggas didn't really know too much information about him. Now as we get more information about him and all that shit, this shit's spicing up. Especially the Mihawk was known in the past as Marine Chaser. That's something.
Yeah,
That's something very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like you
that's a
said,
fire title.
that is a fire ass title. I ain't gonna lie. Like you were saying earlier before. I can't remember word for word what you said, but you said, Mihawk he was a Marine Chaser, and then Zoro was the Pyro Hunters. You're saying like it's kind of like it's destined for them to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like their titles like match each other so well. They're for like their first titles like Marine Chaser, Pirate Hunter, like the things they were famous for before they became pirates, established pirates. Like This is just a match made in heaven for these two. Like that's why I never understood the whole Shiryu's gonna kill Mihawk. I'm like, why do people think this? Like, where do you guys get this? Like, no, like Oda's clearly been building it up for this entire time for Zoro and Mihawk to have their final match together. No one else is interfering. Mihawk said himself he will hold that spot until Zoro is worthy. So yeah, that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's fire. Let's get Buggy's bounty. Buggy's bounty is something, bro. It's 3.1.
Yeah,
3.1.
this guy is actually the goat. Like, oh my, I actually love Buggy so much right now. This guy's actually the goat. Like he just keeps improving and improving like his status and fame throughout the world. Like honestly, I'm happy he's not above Mihawk. And this honestly proves what the point I've been trying to make to all the Mihawk haters in the entire time. Buggy literally became a Yonko just off of having someone like Mihawk in his crew. Like look at Mihawk's bounty and look at Buggy's bounty. This proves that like the world government doesn't see him as the main threat. They see Mihawk as the main threat. A nigga with a 3.5 billion berry bounty. And just off of joining Mihawk, Buggy gets clouded. He gets to a 3.2. But obviously, like Buggy still has, in my opinion, more influence in the world than Mihawk because of like his whole organization, underground works, everything he does. So I think it's really deserved. Like he basically took over Doflamingo's work, and now he's allied with Mihawk. So I think a 3.2 billion berry bounty, though he's not strong, is warranted for him. Like because he can just influence so many pirates in the world in the way that Mihawk and Crocodile can. Crocodile more so than Mihawk, because Crocodile is more influential than Mihawk in my opinion. But Buggy's clearly like the most influential of the three. So yeah, that's how I feel about his bounty. I feel like it's warranted. He's definitely deserves it. So yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there though, real quick. I'm gonna let you know that Crocodile is actually the he's the one who actually made the Cross Guild. It is yeah, right here. The founders of Cross Guild are Buggy,
Let me
Crocodile.
see.
Mihawk received an invitation to join, and he accepted it. And since Buggy's face was in the middle like of the picture, the Marines thought Buggy was the leader of the guild. So basically, that's why he got Marine. But yeah, they were saying Crocodile is the founder of Cross Guild. So you know what I'm saying?
That really doesn't change my opinion because like I said, I still consider Crocodile more influential than someone like Mihawk because Mihawk really just be staying in his own lane. Everything that Mihawk is solely based on his strength because he doesn't do anything but fight. He's never done anything but fight. People like Crocodile, like he was a leader of Baroque works. He was a warlord that actually affected the world. He literally terrorized an entire nation, the entire nation of Alabasta, and he's been in the New World for the last 2 years. So obviously he's been moving strings here and there, trying to actually make shit move. And when I was thinking about okay, the cross scale, how did they come to be founded? In my opinion, like I always thought, Buggy clearly just allied with them for protection from the world government. Mihawk joined them out of boredom because he wants excitement, and Crocodile was clearly the one who wanted something from the Marines. He clearly wanted something from them. He has a goal in mind that the other two don't. So it makes sense that he's the one who found it and sent out the invitations. Now I'm excited about him asking other warlords to invite him. That actually be fire if that happens. Well, everything Crocodile does has a motive behind it, so I can see why he's the one who founded the Cross Guild.
Yeah, he definitely has that determination, and you know what I'm saying. His bounty is 1.9, well 1.965 billion berries. So that's pretty interesting. My guess was 1.9. Uh, but yo, my question is, are we potentially gonna see a Luffy and Crocodile rematch?
I don't think so. I'll just say first. I'll say what my prediction for Crocodile's bounty was. I put him as prior like in the new world. Like I always thought like out of all Luffy's old villains, people like Enel and Crocodile would have more chance of like rising and coming back to actually challenge his crew than people like Lucci and that. So I always like very thought very highly of Crocodile. So I had him at a 1.5. 1.9 is even better than I expected, and I'm happy for it. People are out here saying that he doesn't deserve such a high bounty. He lost a pre-time skip. Luffy with no gears. I'm like, first of all, he bodied Luffy twice, or was it three times? Like Luffy literally won just due to plot armor, and even with the water, Luffy barely scratched out a win. And then we saw just how good Crocodile was in Marineford. This guy was clashing with everybody. Yeah, he wasn't doing that much damage to the higher ups, but he was still clashing with everybody and like holding his own. So clearly, Crocodile has had such an increase of strength just from Alabasta to Marineford. And let's look at it this way. He's been in the New World longer than most of these people have. Longer than most of the supernovas have. Like, look how far a kid improved in his Devil Fruit use just from being in the New World and challenging all these top tiers for 2 years. Crocodile clearly has been doing shit in the New World. Like, people think he's just been stagnant, doing nothing for the last 2 years. And no, obviously this guy's been doing something. Is building up his, like his organization, growing his strength. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and he's first commander level, like someone that's comparable to Katakuri, King, and Zoro. I would not be surprised. Now, as to what you asked about, oh, is he gonna have a rematch with Luffy? I don't think so. I saw this theory online that I actually really agree on. Mr. Prince versus Crocodile. Like, basically, like the way Mr. Prince and Crocodile interacted, I feel like that would actually be a fire match for them to have. And it also builds off of what I always wanted: Luffy and Buggy kind of having a rematch. Like, I always wanted Luffy and Buggy to have a rematch. I know Luffy's going to wash him, but I always wanted Buggy to keep like come back as a challenge to him in the future. So now like the matchups are just perfect now. We got Luffy against Buggy, Zoro against Mihawk, and Mr. Prince Sanji against Crocodile. Like, the matchups are literally made in heaven right now, and I want that to happen end of series. Like, probably before like Luffy faces no after Luffy faces Blackbeard, because I see Zoro fighting Mihawk after they beat the Blackbeard pirates. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I really fuck with that. Like, that's a really good, like, you know what I'm saying, like a 3-on-3 type of like matchup.
Yeah,
I do fuck with that. It's interesting. But yeah, to move on forward, because we do, you know, I'm trying to make this video a little bit more shorter. Let's
yeah.
see. You know, at the end of the chapter, the Revolution Army receives a call, and it's Sabo saying, "It's me, Sabo." So, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Ah,
Brother
well, there's not
Sabo's
really
coming back.
anything. Yeah, there's not really much we can infer from that. All we can really tell is that Sabo's good. All the information, most of the information we got about him, like being in danger, is wrong. But he's really, like, we knew he was out here doing shit. Like, he's literally called the Flame Emperor. His influence is rising. So, but at least now we know he's 100% good from what we can infer. And I think he's really just trying to reconnect with and regroup with the revolutionaries. I think he's been separated from them actually ever since his attack on Mary Joa, and he's been trying to reconnect with them. And on his way back, that's how he's been like growing his influence, getting countries to like revolt and shit like that. Well, yeah, there's not really much I can infer from that leak. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fire. I mean, that's pretty much, we summed up pretty much all the leaks. It's mainly just the bounties and whatnot, and just a little bit of the information of you know, the cross guild and all that shit. I guess we could, you know, go into like maybe into predictions. You know, what's gonna happen in the next. There also is a break next week, sadly.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, I guess we can go into some predictions after, you know, like what's gonna happen. You know, with Sabo and the Revolution Army, Cross Guild. Where's Luffy gonna be going? You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah,
Shanks.
I'm of the yeah. I'm of the mindset that Luffy and the Strauss are gonna go to Sphinx Island. Now they're finally ready to go see Ace's grave and Whitebeard's grave. And this makes a perfect opportunity for Weevil to actually do something. If they visit Sphinx Island, like Whitebeard's Island, go visit the graves, and then Weevil comes and tries to attack Marco. This finally gives us an opportunity to see Weevil in action, see what he's about. So yeah, I feel like Sphinx Island is gonna be like a short arc that we're gonna have like no more than 10 chapters, no longer than what the Reverie is. They're gonna have a quick fight. Luffy's gonna beat him, and Weevil's gonna retreat.
I like
So yeah,
that. I
that's
like
how I
that.
feel about
I
it.
definitely didn't see that. I knew there was definitely probably gonna be some little arc that's gonna separate from the main one. I really like the what's it called? The theory that we were going to Elbaf. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting theory. You know, with not Sab, my fault. Usopp.
What's up? Yeah.
Usopp. You know how big he is, and within you know, inspired by the Elbafs and all that shit. And cause yo, really real shit. Usopp hasn't been doing shit ever since fucking
He
Destarosa, you know what I'm
hasn't.
saying? Like, bro, this nigga used hockey once, and after that, this nigga just turned pussy again. So like,
He's
we need
been
to see
such a
something for
letdown as a
Sabo.
character.
I mean, not
For
Sabo, Usopp. I'm getting the fucking names mixed up.
He's been such a letdown as a character. So me, I feel like after Sphinx Island is when we actually get to Elbaf, and I feel like in Elbaf is when we get the Luffy Shanks reunion. Because I feel like Luffy and Shanks are gonna team up to handle whatever political mess is happening with Loki, King of Giants, and shit like that in Elbaf. But it's not gonna be a problem that's gonna have to be straight muscled out self to strength. It's gonna have to be solved by Usopp's charisma, his character, his intelligence, his wit. He's gonna have to outwit Loki or something. That's it. That's gonna be Usopp's character growth. He's gonna be brave enough in the situation that he's gonna outsmart, outwit Loki, and actually, or whoever the villain is. It doesn't necessarily have to be Loki. And yeah, that's gonna be the Usopp's character arc. And I feel like he's gonna have to fight still. Usopp's gonna have to fight, but it's not gonna be a fight where Luffy and Shanks can interfere without causing problems, political problems in the country. So yeah, and I feel like Shanks's crew and Luffy's crew are gonna have to meet in that part because they have to meet in my opinion, in Elbaf for Usopp and Yasop to have that reunion and Usopp to show his dad that he became a brave warrior of the sea. So yeah,
Yeah, I fuck with that too. There's also theories saying that there might be a poneglyph on
yeah,
Elbaf, which I could definitely see it.
I can see it.
Suppose
That could be why Big Mom is so obsessed with the giant nation.
that is definitely true. But yeah, Usopp has to prove himself because I ain't gonna lie, I
He's
don't
been
really fuck with
really
him.
stagnant.
I don't give him bare ratings, and this guy's he's low key been cheesing me. You know what I'm saying? He's low key been being a pussy lately. But yo, this guy needs to upgrade weapons at least. Like I'm tired of the crossbow, not the crossbow, my fault. The slingshot, like the
Bro,
slingshot's
he needs
just
a
gotta
gun.
go.
He needs a gun, bro. That slingshot is so fucking lame. I don't care how One Piece fans defend it. Like I don't care when One Piece fans tell me, "Oh, I just order style. He's just trying to make it comedic. It would be Usopp's character." I'm like, "Fuck it. Look at Yasop. This guy's so raw with the blicky. Like, just get this nigga a gun. Like, get a gun. At the very least, get a crossbow or something like that. Like, because his slingshot is so lame. And my problem, feel like I always say, he doesn't even need to aim anymore because like the plants be doing all the fucking work. This guy could literally aim 10 feet away from you, and the plant would still affect you. Like he doesn't need to be aiming like he was pre time skip. That like I hate Usopp's new power set. Like it's so annoying. The plant shit has to go. He needs a new power set. He needs to go back to the type of shit like. I actually like Usopp's old fighting style, even when he had the slingshot, because at least he in he added other shit to it. He integrated other shit to it, like the hammer, like the whatever 10-ton hammer, a lot more. And other shot, he also used his environment a lot more. Like he was just more like diverse with his power set. Like everything he shot with his slingshot wasn't always the same plant shit. It was just so much variety of shit. That's why he was able to fight Luffy, not because he was strong, because he was outsmarting him and he had a diverse set of moves. I need Usopp to go back to that. Like pre timeskate, his character was so much better. Post timeskate, he's just been lacking so hard.
Yeah, no cap. But I mean,
Yeah.
see, yeah, it's crazy. He's making Nami all these crazy ass weapons and all that shit. Like, he's got to make an upgrade for himself. You know what I'm saying? Because this guy's
Yeah.
just, he's not really contributing to the team as much right now. But, that's just my say for the Usopp fans to get on my head and all that shit.
I don't know. One more question. Like, I just want to ask, why do you think the chapter is called New Emperor? Like, a new emperor. What do you think that's?
New Emperor, to be honest, I don't really know. Maybe it's because of Buggy, New Emperor.
Like,
Or,
do you think
or
it's going to be like a strictly buggy chapter, and that's why it's called a New Emperor? It's just explaining us about the cross skill and how they came to be.
I
Because my
was,
thought was that's like a red herring. Like they're making us think it's that, but in realistic, like in reality, it's gonna be about whatever information we find about Sabo. Because remember his title, the Flame Emperor. Do you think that's why it's called the chapter is called the New Emperor?
I really fuck with that because I didn't think about that. I definitely didn't think about that. It's kind of more going at the impression of Buggy, maybe like a little like background story. Which I feel like we definitely deserve because we need to know like how this shit happened, all that shit, and how now we know that Crocodile is the founder of it. We got to see like what he's been doing all these years behind the scenes of the work. You know what I'm saying, like building this shit up and all that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really like that Sabo one because we haven't learned too much about Sabo, and I feel like he's like him and Dragon, like they're gonna be on the move pretty soon. So I definitely want to see what I'm saying, like what's going on with them and all that shit. So to be honest, both sides are very good. I honestly couldn't complain which one I get, to be honest, because they're both very interesting topics.
Oh, I think that about wraps it up. So yeah, this was a good video. Talked about a lot of good shit. I'm excited for the chapter. We're definitely gonna react to it. Yeah. So this was N2S Media, with your boy Henny D Gastino and my boy MTV Lion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, as a pleasure doing this video, man. Y'all make sure to like up the video, comment, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Do all that shit, man. Make sure to tune into the next video that we'll be dropping on Thursday or Friday. We're going to be doing the manga
Yeah.
reaction. So, you know, y'all make sure to stay tuned. We're going to be cooking up some, you know what I'm saying, some theories and whatnot. So, yeah, it's going to be a lit video. It's going to be a lit video. Appreciate y'all guys watching the video and all that shit. And, you know, we out, bro. Peace
One
out.
time.
Live a better life. Can I be a superstar? I don't want no